The 2021 Harley Davidson Street Glide Special. This is not a review. This is a re-review. RevelatorAlf. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Right, so I've got this 2021 Street Glide Special. It's in billiard red. It's kind of a burgundy colour. I'm going to take this out for a quick ride for a re-review. So if you want to watch my full review of this, look at that little label up there and you'll see me riding a white one of these. But this is basically bolt standard 114. It's just got a heated seat arrangement on it, but that's about it. I'm just going to give you my thoughts on this as a second look. Right, let's get on to that. Ignition on. Now this comes with the full RDRS. There's the traction control there as well. Bish bash bosh. Okay, so one of the first things on this bike which I've been asking about is the infotainment system on here. So first of all, phone access here. There's this like little rubber sleeve. An iPhone will fit all the way through there. You just got to get these little USBs out there. There's also a little service connector there for diagnostics. But your iPhone, your standard iPhone 12, I think even a slightly bigger one will go in there, does fit in there. You might have to take this rubber sleeve out, but it does fit all the way through. That's good to know. Okay, phone connects up to that, but then if you actually want it in your headset, you need this WIM audio, which is all put in there, and then it Bluetooths it to your headset, whatever that is. I've been assured by them that it will play on any headset, but I'm not sure that is the case, that it will come through on stereo. Lots of people are telling me it will only come on mono. Anyway, right, let's get into this. Lovely. One thing I noticed straight away is the engine braking on this is a lot better than on my bike, on my Sport Glide. You roll off the throttle and immediately, you know, it drops. So for some that might be a bit of a bad thing. For me, it's actually quite a good thing. Yeah, so this is the 114 engine, of course. Obviously it's got a dual exhaust, everything like that. But it feels really smooth, a lot smoother, a lot quieter. It just feels a lot more refined than my Sport Glide. Now it's supposed to, I suppose, because it's a Tourer, but it feels a lot nicer in that regard. Gear change is really nice, really smooth on this. Actually, it's a stock bike apart from the seat that is different. I'm gonna have to ask them about this upstaging on these 2021s and 2022s. I still think they're having a few issues with them right now, but I say if you know anything more than that, please let us know. Now the one that I reviewed before had the hydraulic clutch. This has got the cable clutch now. And you know, it feels very similar to my Sport Glide. Actually, I mean, there's no real difference there. Right, I'm in 6th gear, doing 50 miles an hour. Let me just roll this on and see how much torque it's got. Yeah, there is a little kick there. I would say a little kick, but it's got the grunt there. It's got the torque just to pull you through. It's nice. I mean, 70 miles an hour, effortless, really. Am I getting wind noise? Yeah, I mean, but not. That's more to do with my helmet, less to do with the actual buffeting around the head. But there is a little bit. It's almost like this is swirling around. This is a non-standard windscreen as well. Slightly different. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the difference I'm feeling. Yeah, I wouldn't say the ride is as smooth as I thought it might be. And I think my memory from the first review still holds, really, that the suspension isn't as refined as I think it could be. Alright, let's get on to some A-roads and see what's what. Brakes are nice. I mean, it's really cold today, I've got to say. This has got heated grips on as well. I don't think those are standard. So I suppose the seat, the heated grips, and the windscreen. You need that WIM audio to get a Bluetooth, you know, to get everything synced up to your Bluetooth headset. Personally, I think all that should be included. That should already be standard anyway. I don't see why. And maybe that's something they'll change for 2022, that everything like that is standard. You're buying a Tourer, so these little creature comforts like heated grips, like, you know, having you're automatically Bluetoothing it to a headset, that should be standard in my opinion. But the actual bike is smooth. It's silky smooth. Yeah, that engine braking, I'm really noticing it on this one. Let's just turn up this radio and see what we got. Look, I can hear the radio here, but certainly if you start going a little bit faster, you're not going to hear it. No doubt. You need that Bluetooth headset, so I kind of do wonder what's the whole point of it. You know, I do feel a little bit of a plum listening to music, you know, as I'm riding along, you know, loud so everybody else can hear it. Okay, let's get rid of that. My question is, do I need all this? The fairing, the look, I like it. I like the gauges are up here, easy view, so that's definitely a big plus over my bike. But do I need this infotainment system? Do I need that hassle? The bike itself is really nice, but do I need it? I mean, let us know first of all about these. If you had a 2021 and you tried to do stage upgrades because they had the ECM changes and all that kind of stuff, have you had any problems? Was it you know, difficult to do? What about the infotainment system? Was there issues there that you found? You know, was it difficult to hook up to a headset? Did you have to pay all that extra money? Did you have to buy the HD branded one, you know? So one thing I'm definitely going to have to do is take this home and just quickly see if it will fit in my garage. You know, it's these second review rides, these second tryout rides. I would never try out a new bike only once. So I think the best thing is try it out once, see what you think. If you're serious about it, go and test ride it again and go and look for those everyday things that you think that you'll need, you know? Yeah, it's definitely a nice smooth ride, as you expect from a Tourer. I wouldn't say it's the smoothest. The power delivery is nice and smooth. I would definitely say that. It kind of purrs along, you know, and there, you know, you can feel that the torque, it just purrs along. I mean, it's even more purry than my Sport Glide, definitely. But then again, it's a different riding profile, isn't it? It's a different power delivery on these 114s as well. Yeah, it's a heavier bike, but it does feel really well balanced, and it does feel light once you're riding it. And I gotta say, this fairing obscuring the road doesn't really bother me. I'm quite tall anyway, so I've got a good view over the top. It's just when you're trying to maneuver it, you know, back pedal it, that kind of thing, whether it would be too heavy. It fits. Yeah, a little bit heavy pulling it back, but it does fit. Right. Yeah, I've got to say, the infotainment system, listening to the radio, is not for me. Definitely. I would have this, no problem, but it'd have to go through a headset for me. So, you know, that's it. It gets, you know, I've tried to come to terms with playing the radio loud, but I say it's just not me. I mean, different people, you know, would have different tastes. That's not for me. But anyway, so you'd have to go through that extra expense, unless the 2022 bikes come with this WIM audio already built in, and also whether it will indeed be full functionality as the guy in the dealership claimed, with all, you know, better brand Bluetooth headsets. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But the phone does fit in there, and you can connect it up to the USB, so that's a good thing. This works. You got a sat nav and everything like that. You can do everything on the go, you know, by the toggle switch here. You put the home button there, then you select it on the right hand side. There you go. There you've got your sat nav. Yeah, I've got to say, just trying to play over with the sat nav here on the go, it's a little bit fiddly, I've got to say. It's not as intuitive as I thought it might be. But anyway, look, I'm sure it's one of those things you just play with, you know, and you'll figure it out. But as I say, you know, it's a little bit. Let's have a look. Oh no, it does. Yeah, there we go. So to search, you have to, so far, so the toggle switch doesn't activate the search. You have to push you have to touch the screen. There we go. Then you can search wherever you want to get to. Right, let's do that. Get rid of that. It feels really balanced. It feels really nice. Power delivery is really nice. You know, it's a smooth, touring, comfortable ride. This is not a performance ride. It's not really heavy, I've got to say, but you've got to keep your balance on it, I think. Right, let's get on the open road, turn that down because I'm not hearing anything at all. So sat nav, yeah, it works. You're gonna have to mixture between the toggle switch on the right hand side here, this button here, and also the touch screen. Radio is a little bit cumbersome, I suppose, the search function, but it all works. You just, you know, okay, you know, you got to get used to the system. Yeah, you're gonna have to find a way to maybe circumnavigate this, getting your phone to Bluetooth to your headset. I would say I'm, you know, just wondering whether it always has to go through the infotainment system if you've got it connected, or whether it would just select whether it comes through the infotainment system or whether it comes directly from your phone. I think in previous wired versions that would sometimes happen. The bike itself is really good. It fits in my garage, you know, it's not too heavy to maneuver. I would say on flat ground, I think any kind of uphill, this is going to be a real struggle. I think, you know, when you actually put your feet down on the floor, you are kind of planted as well. You know, you do, you're not too high up off the ground. So the weight and the bike is kind of low down, as it were. Yeah, it rolls into the bench really nice. I've got to say the balance on it is really nice. I would say, do you have to definitely change the suspension? No, you definitely don't. But I think if you're going to be looking for something a bit more, you would think that maybe you would have to upgrade that suspension. But I would say, fine, you know, is this an all-day riding bike? Well, I'd say so, yeah. I would say so, you know, it's comfortable. It's hard to say with this seat because this is like a £700 seat, would you believe, a heated seat, you know. But I think the other one that I rode was a standard seat and it was absolutely fine as well. So again, it really depends. The heated grips, as I say, I think that should be standard. You know, good windscreen, that should be standard. The WIM audio should be standard. They say that they've had some problems with trying to fit the aerial, the big sticky up aerial at the back, in the fairing for reception. I've heard mixed reviews on that. Some people say no, it's absolutely fine, other people say no. So again, difficult to say really. I suppose the question is, you know, is it too heavy for me to not to ride? To ride it feels as light as a feather. I'm talking about to maneuver, you know, in and out of my garage or have to backpedal. No, it doesn't feel it, but it's kind of on the limit, if you know what I mean. Does it ride really smooth? Yes. Cable clutch is really nice. RDRS, yeah, it's all fine. You can turn that on, turn that off at your leisure. You've got the different modes that you can go through as well, so that all works. But again, it's like a bolt-on for me. This is almost like it's not written. Nothing on the bike is kind of intuitive. I've been on other bikes and it's easy to select menus and to go through different things. This just seems a little bit cumbersome, but that's only an initial thought really. The bike is silky smooth. Clutch engagement is really nice on this one, and I think the last one I rode was really nice as well. So maybe it's just the Taurus. The Taurus seems to be a little bit more refined, a little bit more smoother than the Softails. Let me know what you think on that. But this is just my impression. You know, the Softails are just that little bit more raw, when the Taurus are a little bit smoother all around, I would say. But the view over the top, I thought I'd be more obscured than I am, but I'm not. I'm, you know, I'll say I'm just over 6 foot, so and probably shrinking by the minute, you know, as I get older. But you know, I've got a good view over here, so that doesn't really bother me. I don't feel as if I'm too wide either. I don't think there's major difference between the way I'm riding now and this bike. I think that where I would really struggle is when I'm trying to filter through sort of heavy traffic. But most of the time it's only if I've got a decent enough gap that I'm going through. Otherwise I'm just not going through at all, you know. I say it was just a really quick re-review just to see what I thought about the bike after my initial test ride, and I gotta say it's a nice bike. It's definitely a nice bike. I'm not feeling anything on the handlebars either. It's not heavy, it's not anything like that. I've got to try the Road King and the Road Glide as well. The Road King for the bare bones aspect, but I would want to put some kind of fairing on it. The Road Glide, because of having that different setup, really. And is there going to be any noticeable difference? But it does seem to be a bigger bike, if you know what I mean. But anyway, listen, I'm going to get this on the motorway and see if there's any real big difference in buffeting or handling as well. But we'll see how we go. This is a bike that you could ride every day. I didn't think you could, but it's definitely you could ride every day. Are there better versions out there? You know, the Road Glide, the Road King from Harley Davidson. What about Indian? What about BMW? Some of those BMWs which I rode were absolutely fantastic touring bikes. I think there comes a point, and this is my initial thoughts, right? There comes a point when it's got nothing really to do about the bike in terms of performance and the way it handles and the way it rides, because I can think you can pick faults in, you know, every bike, couldn't you? And there's always going to be pluses and minuses. I think it comes down to looks, and I think the Harleys, for me, they look the nicest. Whether they're actually the best bike, well, that's a different story, you know. It's so cold this morning, my visor is steaming up, and even though I've got a pin lock on it, I'm really struggling. So I do apologise for the camera angles and all that. Hello, hello. Well, going up through the gears, silky smooth, no real issues there, and I'm not feeling anything on these bars at all. I know lots of people think that there's movement on these bars. I'm doing 70, just over 70 miles an hour here, 70 miles an hour, but nothing at all, nothing at all. I'm not getting any lot of wind on my body. The windscreen seems to be working fine, the fairing's working fine. A little bit on my upper arms, yeah, a little bit. I'm wearing a full face helmet, yeah, there's a little bit of swirling over the top there. Let me just come off here. Absolutely fine, absolutely fine. Nice bike to ride, this is. Really is a nice bike to ride. So this is the re-review. It's a great bike, I've got to say. Watch my full review for it. But I just wanted to give you this kind of, you know, this pre-2022 review of this bike, what my thoughts are, what I think they should upgrade, you know, make things more standard on it, like the heater grips. If they don't, if I've made a mistake there, maybe they do, but I don't think they do. This WIM audio, or whatever system they employ, just to make sure that Bluetooth headset is already there. You don't have to buy extra. You know, because they've got all the other bikes, not the Pan America and the Sportster S, I think that's already there. So why haven't they got it on this, you know? But, you know, but there we go. It's a nice bike to ride. It's a nice and smooth, possibly not as smooth as I thought it might be for a tourer, but then again, I would put that down to the suspension a little bit and the roads, which are pretty crappy. Right, I'm going to head back now. I've got a lorry load of paper clips to file, and anyway, I'm going to see you again on another video. But say, if you're looking for a tourer from Harley Davidson, I think there's lots of things that people might say about the Street Glide that might be negative, or, you know, in compared to the Road Glide or compared to the Road King. But from a looks point of view, I think it's great. But I think overall, it's a really nice bike to ride. You know, you're not talking about performance, you're not talking about ultra comfort, but it's that halfway house. It's a nice touring bagger, if you know what I mean. So it's just a nice ride. Is it the best touring bike I've ever ridden? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Is it one of the nicest so far which I've ridden in terms of looks? Yeah, I would say so. So you're kind of in that quandary, really, aren't you? Do you like it for its looks and it's a nice bike to ride, or are you going to sacrifice a little bit of overall performance? I'll leave that for you to decide. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and I'll catch you again. Ta-da!